There are three main parts of the neuron: the dendrites, the soma, and the axon. The dendrites increase surface area for attachment to endings of other neurons. The soma, or the cell body, processes information received from the dendrites. The axon relays the signal from the soma down to another cell. The Schwann cells secrete myelin, which help insulate axons. This helps prevent signal degradation. The spaces in between the Schwann cells are called the nodes of revenue. The nervous system is broken down into two parts: the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system is composed of the brain and the spinal cord. The peripheral nervous system has the nerves. It is broken down into two components: the afferent and the efferent. The afferent contains all ingoing signals, and the efferent is all outgoing systems. The efferent is also broken down into two more parts: the automatic nervous system and the somatic nervous system. The somatic nervous system is the voluntary actions, such as moving your arm or stuff. It also contains the skeletal muscle. The automatic nervous system is the involuntary things, the things we can't control, such as our pupils dilating or our heart rate. This contains the cardiac and smooth muscle. It is broken down into two more parts: the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. The sympathetic speeds everything up, and the parasympathetic slows everything. There are three types of neurons: sensory, intermediate or relay, and motor. Sensory neurons transmit impulses from receptors to the central nervous system. Relay neurons transmit impulses from sensory neurons to motor neurons, and motor neurons transmit impulses from the central nervous system to effectors. Motor neurons have highly branched dendrites. They have long axons, and the ends of the axons have mitochondria and vesicles. The sensory neurons, the dendron is usually longer than the axon. It has one long axon, and it contains many dendrites. Both of them may form synapses with relay neurons or intermediate neurons, and some are myelinated. A reflex arc is the pathway along impulses are transmitted without involving conscious parts of your brain. In a reflex arc, impulses are passed from neuron to neuron inside the spinal cord. Other reflex arcs may have no intermediate neuron, and the impulses pass directly from the sensory neuron to the motor neuron to the effector. The effector therefore responds to the stimulus before there's any voluntary response involving the conscious regions of the brain. This is called the reflex action. The reflex action is a fast, automatic response to a stimulus. For example, when your hand reacts to heat and it moves away, that's a reflex action.